Well, it's not an anti-war policy. The creed is millions for defense, not 1 cent for empire. That's not anti-war. He's in favor of a strong defense. He's not in favor of playing the world policeman and traipsing all around the globe anytime anyone says they dislike the United States and launching war at a cost now of an annual national security budget of $1.2 trillion. I repeat that, $1.2 trillion. That's the exact number of our annual deficits that are running us into ruination. Now, the fact is, we don't go abroad in search of monsters to destroy, and that's not just Ron Paul's view. That was the view of the Founding Fathers. Those are the words of President John Quincy Adams, then Secretary of State in 1821. So it's simply wrong to suggest that it's anti-war. He's totally in favor of defending the United States, and our brave men and women should be risking that last full measure of devotion here in the United States, protecting Americans, not risking lives for Afghans, Pakistanis, Libyans, and otherwise. Those are good jobs for good Samaritans who want Nobel Peace Prizes. Our government, Ron Paul says, is limited under the Constitution, our philosophy, to defending America. America first.
All right, and you mentioned Libya. Ron Paul has been weighing in very specifically on the Libya situation.
Yes, exactly right. Not only because it's a fool's errand, and in my judgment, we'll end up with a regime at least as bad as Gaddafi, if not worse. And it's already got a draft constitution that makes Sharia law the foundation for all new constitution. But also, this was the first time when a president openly stated, I can initiate warfare anytime I want, despite the constitutional entrustment exclusively to Congress of that authority. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11. This was the most expansive grab of executive power in history. Now, it was overlooked because it seemed to be less dramatic than the wars in Afghanistan, the wars in Iraq, etc. But as a precedent, it will lie around like a loaded weapon. Now we've basically said any president on his own can decide to go into Iran and initiate war, North Korea initiate war, any place that he says is a national security interest. And what history teaches, and Ron understands, is that the executive branch has an incentive to inflate danger, because when war comes, the power goes to the president, the secrecy goes to the president, the taxes, the spending, the contracts go to the president. And that's why Libya is such a disaster. I mean, we actually had almost the Orwellian statement out of the Obama administration that Libya did not involve us in, quote, hostilities, because we didn't have foot soldiers on the ground. We were just killing from the air. We could have shot ICBM nuclear warheads there and destroyed every living thing, and that wouldn't be hostilities. So that's just an enormous expansion of executive power that the Libya situation set, and Ron is opposed, I think, uniquely among the candidates.
All right, moving on to the economy, Mr. Paul has his ideas on that. Eliminate the income tax altogether. Also refuse to raise the debt ceiling entirely. Can you just elaborate more on his economic policies?
Well, the income tax, remember, we survived and prospered as a country for over 125 years without an income tax. It came in as an amendment in the early 1900s. And there are many nations who can raise proper revenue through tariffs, through excises, and what's oftentimes known as a value-added tax. And that is the way, and you're going to get government under control. And I think if you're going to have a balanced budget, you have to prevent the government from borrowing money. That's the guarantee of a balanced budget. You and I, if we don't have a good credit, can't go out and borrow money to buy $1 million home. The government should be in no different situation. And that is what will bring fiscal sanity, and to say it will bring jobs. Right now, the government borrowing gobbles up all the investment. So there's very little to lend to start-up companies and companies that need the credit to expand. When the government out of the borrowing market, it means it's all available for the private sector to thrive and create those jobs.